everybody, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I am going to be doing another paper squishy tutorial, and I'm actually basing it off of this Yummiibear bakery bun, and this is a squishy that I actually got recently from Banggood. I am totally in love with it, although it does smell a little bit old and has kind of like little tiny blue marks on it now, so I'm not really sure what's going on with that, but yeah, it's a bit strange. Anyway, what I've decided to do today was actually make a paper squishy version of it. Because I've been loving this squishy so much, I thought that it was the perfect candidate to do the paper squishy version of, so that's exactly what I've done for today's video. I know I promised a paper squishy week this week. I'm not 100% sure if I'm still going to do a full week, as to be honest, I'm not really into paper squishies as much anymore since I've built up a collection of squishies of my own, and also have been making memory foam squishies recently, which I'm totally back in love with. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure whether or not I'm going to do a full week of paper squishies or not, but at least I have one today for you. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. Anyway, so like I said, what I did was I just took some normal plain A4 paper and I just drew out the Yummiibear onto this. I used the pens that I recently got off Amazon, and I'm actually really impressed with these pens still. I've been using them so much and none of them have dried out yet, which is just insane. I know the Crayola Super Tips that I had before, they dried out within like the first day I got some of the colours, which was really disappointing as they were quite expensive. With these pens, they have got a fine liner on the other side, which helps them be really like good for detail and stuff, and also mapping out like where I wanted to cut and everything. I did use the fine liners. I also added a bit of like extra texture, as you can see there, with the fine liner end instead of the brush end, and it also helps map out where you want to do your colouring. So I just, like with that chocolate drip bit there, I did the fine liner, and that helped really mark it out so that when I then went in with the brush, it was all kind of marked out for me. So I actually used a light yellow for the bear's head, a darker orangey colour for the inner ear, and because these pens come with so many shades, it was really easy to find like a shade kind of light enough and dark enough. I don't think the yellow obviously is light enough, but to get a colour that pale in a felt tip is almost impossible because the ink obviously dries a little bit lighter. I honestly could not believe that I've just spoke for that long without a break. Like honestly, I'm on one today, I've had a coffee, I'm ready to go, I just want to keep talking to this microphone and having a great time. But anyway, I will leave you to it with some nice little music. So once the shape was fully drawn out, I then went ahead with some tape and just taped over it to make it like almost like laminated. You can of course use a laminator if you want to. It will reduce the squishiness of it because lamination is a lot thicker, but like I said, I just used clear tape over that. What I then did was took the piece of paper and just cut out roughly around it, and then taped it loosely down to another piece of paper and cut it out again. On the back, I just coloured it in the same orangey colour as on the original squishy. Once the back was completely covered and I then covered it with clear tape, I then went ahead and just peeled it off any paper that it was actually stuck to, and I just cut around the shape right on the edge of where I wanted the shape to be. I then went ahead with small strips of tape and just taped around the whole of the outside and made little slits in it as I went around and folded each one around the kind of curves. Making little slits in the tape does help to get into little creases and to curve the tape around without being left with any ugly kind of square edges. I do always end up leaving like one bit of the paper kind of left on just to keep the pieces in line, and then what I do when I've taped like the majority of it back up, I then go ahead and cut that excess off and then tape that up also. It's a great tip for just keeping the pieces of paper in the exact right position for taping. I obviously left a gap at the bottom just to allow me to stuff the shape up, and to stuff my paper squishy I did actually use toy stuffing for the very top, and then I just used some memory foam offcuts for the rest of the bottom. I probably would have used offcuts for the whole thing, but because the shape was very dainty and quite narrow at the top, toy stuffing is a lot more easier to get into those like little bits. You can obviously use whatever filling you want. I have so many different videos where I've used different fillings, so it is completely down to you. So once the paper squishy was then complete, as you can see, it is a little bit squishy. It does rise back up, especially where the memory foam is. And yeah, I think it looks really good. I'm really happy with the design of it, obviously because it's made from my favourite squishy at the moment. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. It definitely does not compare to the original, but if you don't have any money or you can't get it in your country, then doing this is a great alternative. And this is exactly how I started out with squishies, by making my own, including paper ones. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. So I'm really happy with the shape and the sizing and stuff like that. Even though I did kind of freehand it, I feel like I could have drawn around it to make it a little bit more easier. But I'm just really happy with how it turned out. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to do a full week of paper squishies because I'm not 100% into them anymore, because obviously now I have my own collection. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video anyway, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!